Have you ever noticed that we live in a world that is, in many ways, paradoxical? We've mapped the human genome, sent probes beyond the edges of our solar system, and built machines that can predict the weather with remarkable precision. Yet, here we are, still struggling to understand one another. Wars rage while people starve. Technology connects us and isolates us simultaneously. And our knowledge of the cosmos grows exponentially while our wisdom about life on Earth lags far behind. And in the middle of this contradiction, a curious thing happens. Sometimes a sequence of numbers appears to us repeatedly. Perhaps you glance at a clock and it reads 4:44. Maybe you see it on a receipt or in a phone notification or etched into the random pattern of your daily life. There it is, insistently, persistently, almost as if the universe itself is nudging you, saying, pay attention. All, what does it mean? Why do these moments matter? And more importantly, what does it tell us about our place in this vast cosmos? Numbers are the language of the universe. They are the scaffolding upon which reality is built. From the ratios that govern the spiral arms of galaxies, to the harmonic vibrations of atoms, to the predictable elegance of planetary orbits, numbers are everywhere. And when a sequence like 444 appears, it is a small, tantalizing crack in the fabric of ordinary perception. A reminder that perhaps there is a message embedded in the universe's ongoing symphony. But let's not rush to mysticism. The universe is not a whimsical magician with secrets to tease us. It is a grand system operating under laws that we are only beginning to understand. And yet, within these laws, patterns emerge, patterns that echo through the cosmos and, remarkably, within our own lives. So what does 444 signify? In some traditions, it is a symbol of guidance, protection, and alignment. In numerology, it resonates with the themes of stability and manifestation. Some interpret it as a message from the universe, or perhaps from consciousness itself, whispering reassurance. You are on the right path. You are seen. You are supported. But let us not mistake reassurance for passivity. Observing a pattern is not enough. Recognizing synchronicity is not enough. Understanding the message embedded in 444, in whatever form it appears to you, requires reflection, engagement, and action. It asks us to consider, how am I living my life? Where am I aligned? Where am I falling out of sync, not just with my goals, but with the world and with the cosmos? Consider the stars. Each one burns with its own rhythm, its own lifetime. Some explode in cataclysmic supernovae, scattering matter that will eventually form new stars, new planets, new life. Others burn quietly, persistently, in their steady orbits. And yet, each star is essential to the cosmic ecosystem. Remove one, and the balance shifts. Isn't it the same for us? Each human consciousness is a spark within the vast cosmic framework. Each act of kindness, each decision to pursue knowledge, each moment of reflection ripples outward. Some of those ripples are immediate and visible. Others take decades, centuries, even millennia to manifest. And just as the universe moves on scales far beyond our daily perception, so too do the consequences of our choices extend beyond what we can immediately comprehend. Seeing 444 then is not merely a mystical coincidence. It is an invitation to consider our interconnectedness, to pause and ask, am I aligned with my highest purpose? Am I contributing to the stability, the harmony, the beauty of the system I inhabit? It is a reminder that life is not lived in isolation. We are participants in a complex dance of energy, matter, consciousness, and time. Dolores Cannon, a pioneer in exploring human consciousness, often spoke of the synchronicities that guide us. She described the universe as a living system of intelligence, a network of interwoven energies, where nothing is truly random. When a number like 444 recurs, it is part of this larger orchestration, a signal that we are being nudged to awaken, to observe, and to act. Yet awakening is not passive. It is not simply seeing the number and feeling comforted. It is a call to responsibility. It is the recognition that the universe, in all its immensity, has entrusted us with a unique opportunity to navigate life with awareness, with purpose, and with intentionality. To take what is given, the signs, the synchronicities, the moments of clarity, and turn them into meaningful action that enriches not only our lives, but the lives of those around us. Think about it. The atoms in your body were forged in the cores of stars that lived and died billions of years ago. The very matter that makes up your cells, your thoughts, your consciousness is ancient, cosmic, and magnificent. And yet, most of us move through life as if we are separate from this grandeur, oblivious to the miracle of existence, distracted by trivialities, consumed by fleeting fears. Perhaps 444 is a gentle reminder that we are more than our daily routines, that the universe is not indifferent, even if it is impartial, that the same principles which govern galaxies, black holes, and quantum particles also govern the flow of our lives. Stability, harmony, alignment, and resonance are not abstract concepts, they are practical imperatives. And when we ignore them, we risk chaos. When we embrace them, we participate consciously in the unfolding of creation itself. And so we arrive at a choice. When 444 appears, we may ignore it, chalk it up to coincidence, continue on our habitual path, or we may pause, reflect, and ask, what is this telling me about how I live, how I relate, how I choose? In that moment, we stand at the threshold of awareness. And like an astronomer gazing at the night sky, we realize that every observation is a dialogue, every insight a spark of illumination, every choice a contribution to the cosmic narrative. The universe is patient, but it is not eternal. Our moments are fleeting, our time is finite, and the signals are subtle. 444 is not a cosmic demand, it is an invitation. And the question we must answer is, will we accept it? Will we rise to the responsibility it implies? Will we align ourselves with the rhythm of creation, consciously, purposefully, and courageously? Because in the end, it is not the number itself that matters. It is what it awakens within us. Curiosity, responsibility, compassion, wisdom, a sense of wonder that is grounded not in wishful thinking, but in an honest recognition of the cosmos and our place within it. If we heed this call, the implications are profound. Each act of conscious alignment, each decision made with awareness of its ripple effects adds stability to the web of existence. Each choice made in harmony with truth, beauty, and compassion amplifies the interconnectedness that binds us to one another and to the stars themselves. We become, in effect, co-creators of the reality we inhabit, participants in the ongoing symphony of the universe. So, the next time you see 444, pause, look around. Consider not only what it means for you, but what it means for your world, for your community, for the larger cosmos. Let it remind you that your life, like the light of a star, touches everything around it. Let it remind you that alignment, harmony, and responsibility are not abstract ideals, they are your legacy. And perhaps in embracing this message, in acknowledging the cosmic conversation in which you are a participant, you will come to understand something profound, that the universe, in all its vastness and complexity, has entrusted you with awareness. And with that awareness comes not just the opportunity to exist, but the privilege and responsibility to live meaningfully. And yet, in all this wonder, there is a humbling truth. The universe does not bend to our desires. It does not pause for our convenience. Stars live and die indifferent to our joys or sorrows. Planets orbit with perfect precision without asking for our approval. And humans, curious, ambitious, imaginative humans, often presume that the cosmos should conform to our fleeting whims, but herein lies the beauty. We do not need the universe to validate our existence. It merely provides a stage, a set of rules, and an opportunity. What we choose to do with that opportunity, how we navigate our lives within these laws of physics, and the boundless possibilities of consciousness that is entirely up to us. 444, in this context, becomes more than a number. It is a lens through which we can see ourselves in relation to the universe. Because every glance at 444 is an invitation to pause, to reflect, and to question, are we living consciously? Are we creating meaning in our lives? Or are we drifting, lulled by distraction, content with superficial engagement with the world around us? Consider this. The atoms in your body were forged in the cores of stars that exploded billions of years ago. Every carbon atom in your cells, every oxygen molecule you breathe, every calcium particle in your bones is ancient stardust, recycled from stars that lived and died long before humanity existed. And now, here you are, a conscious manifestation of the universe itself, capable of thought, reflection, and choice. That is not trivial. That is awe-inspiring. And it is precisely why the repetition of a number like 444, small and seemingly insignificant, carries with it a cosmic resonance. When we notice these patterns, it is not superstition, it is awareness. Awareness that we are part of something much larger than ourselves. Awareness that our decisions ripple outward, shaping the world, influencing the lives of others, and even, in ways we cannot yet measure, echoing back to the cosmic system that birthed us. The philosopher in me wants to ask, what is the measure of a life well lived? Is it wealth, achievement, recognition, or is it alignment? Alignment with principles that transcend our own immediate concerns, kindness, curiosity, integrity, and the courage to act on insight. The scientist in me wants to say, the universe will not judge you, but it will respond to your choices. Every action has consequence, every cause has effect. Chaos theory, ripple effects, feedback loops, they are not just abstract mathematics. They are the architecture of reality. And this brings us back to 444. Its message is subtle but profound. It does not demand action. It does not dictate behavior. It whispers, it nudges, it reminds us, pay attention. Notice the patterns, the synchronicities, the alignments in your life. Reflect on your place in the cosmic system, and then act. Act with awareness, act with purpose, act with responsibility. Because the universe does not need your participation, but the world, your community, your family, your planet certainly does. You are a conduit of influence. Your decisions, small, large, personal, or communal, shape the ecosystem of humanity and, indirectly, the trajectory of the cosmos as it unfolds through you. Let us consider another metaphor. Imagine the universe as a vast orchestra, spanning billions of years and untold distances. Every star, every planet, every particle is an instrument, playing a note in a symphony that stretches from the Big Bang to the distant future. Now, imagine that consciousness, human awareness, is the conductor or perhaps a participant who listens closely and decides which notes to amplify, which harmonies to follow, which rhythms to introduce. In this metaphor, 444 is a musical cue, a subtle shift in tempo, an indication to attune yourself, to listen more carefully, to act with intention. And what does it mean to act with intention? It means that when you see 444, you pause not to interpret it mystically, but to reflect pragmatically. Am I living in a way that contributes positively to the harmony of the world? Am I creating stability where there is chaos? Am I nurturing connection where there is isolation? Am I aligned with values that uplift humanity and honor the cosmos? The scientific mind recognizes patterns, not for comfort, but for understanding. The philosophical mind recognizes patterns, not for superstition, but for guidance. And the human mind, remarkably capable of both, can take these insights and turn them into action. That is where meaning resides. That is where the cosmic whisper of 444 becomes a tangible force, shaping the trajectory of a life and, by extension, the lives it touches. Now, let's reflect on society. In an age of instantaneous communication, global connectivity, and unprecedented access to knowledge, why do we still struggle with empathy, understanding, and cooperation? The answer is complex, but it is not inscrutable. Technology has amplified our capacity for distraction and fragmentation, even as it connects us. Information is abundant, but wisdom is scarce. Knowledge alone does not create meaning. Only conscious engagement does. So, what can we learn from 444 inches, this context? That alignment, resonance, and intentionality are not abstract ideals, they are survival mechanisms. That paying attention, noticing patterns, and acting with consciousness is not optional, it is essential. That the universe in all its indifference offers clues, and that our intelligence, awareness, and ethical capacity make us capable of interpreting and responding to them. And yet, we must approach this with humility. We are, after all, stardust attempting to comprehend the cosmos. We are finite beings trying to navigate an infinite system of matter, energy, and consciousness. Our knowledge is incomplete, our understanding imperfect, our perception limited, and in that limitation lies our responsibility to act not out of certainty, but out of informed curiosity, not out of fear, but out of conscious care, not out of arrogance, but out of reverence for the intricate, delicate, and magnificent system in which we exist. Ultimately, 444 is a mirror. It reflects back to us our potential. It reflects our capacity to notice, to reflect, and to act. It reminds us that life is not merely about surviving or accumulating, but about participating consciously in the unfolding of reality, about being responsible stewards of our lives, our communities, and the cosmos itself. So, when you encounter 444, do not dismiss it. Do not interpret it as merely coincidence. Pause, reflect, consider the patterns in your life, the alignment of your actions, and the resonance of your choices. Listen to the whispers of the universe, not as a mystical command, but as a subtle prompt to rise to your potential. And then act. Choose connection over isolation. Choose understanding over prejudice. Choose exploration over complacency. Choose harmony over chaos. Choose courage over fear. And in doing so, you will have answered the message of 444, not with words, but with life itself and active participation in the ongoing magnificent symphony of existence. Because here's the final truth. The universe is vast, indifferent, and ancient. It has endured cycles of creation and destruction long before we existed, and it will continue long after we are gone. And yet, in the fleeting moments of our consciousness, we have the extraordinary opportunity to matter, to act, to resonate, to shape, however slightly, the unfolding story of everything. 444 is not just a number, it is a reminder, a call, a prompt, a question posed by the cosmos. Will you awaken to the responsibility of being conscious? Will you align your life with principles that matter? Will you contribute to the harmony of the system, of which you are an integral part? The answer, of course, is yours. But consider this, even the smallest act of awareness, the briefest moment of alignment, the tiniest ripple of intention can echo across time and space, influencing realities far beyond what you can perceive. That is not mystical. That is not supernatural. That is science, philosophy, and the enduring power of conscious life. So my friends, pay attention, reflect deeply, act consciously, and in doing so, you honor not only the message of 444, but the vast, magnificent, awe-inspiring universe that gave rise to you, because in the end, we are not merely inhabitants of the cosmos. We are its participants, its interpreters, and its stewards. And that, perhaps, is the greatest privilege any of us will ever know. Consider the Earth for a moment, not as a backdrop to our lives, but as a participant in the cosmic narrative. From the vantage point of space, our planet is a delicate blue marble spinning through a universe that is both vast and indifferent. The rivers, mountains, and oceans seem eternal from our perspective, yet in cosmic terms, they are ephemeral features on a speck of dust orbiting a mediocre star in an ordinary galaxy. And still, within this fragile sphere, life has emerged, consciousness has arisen, and awareness has dawned. We are the universe contemplating itself. You are not a mere observer. You are an active participant. And every glance at 444, every repeated pattern you notice, is a prompt from reality itself, a subtle nudge, to remember that your life is woven into the fabric of everything else. Let me take you back in time for a moment. In 1609, Galileo first pointed a telescope to the heavens, And for the first time, humans saw moons orbiting another planet. The universe suddenly expanded in our minds, and yet it remained the same universe. We were unchanged physically, but our consciousness shifted. We began to realize that the cosmos does not revolve around us, rather, we revolve within it. And from that realization came a new responsibility. If we are capable of understanding the universe, we are also capable of shaping our behavior, our societies, and our future in a way that aligns with that understanding. And here is where 444 finds its meaning, not in superstition, but as a metaphor for alignment. It is a reminder that life, like the cosmos, follows patterns, rhythms, and laws. When you notice these patterns, you are being offered a chance to step into harmony with them, to act with purpose, to participate consciously, to acknowledge that every choice, no matter how small, contributes to the grand tapestry of existence. Science teaches us that everything is connected. The gravitational pull of a star affects the orbit of planets. A butterfly flapping its wings in Brazil may, in theory, influence a hurricane in Texas. On a smaller scale, your actions affect your neighbors, your community, your society. What you say, what you do, and how you choose to engage with the world ripples outward. 444 is a cosmic mirror reflecting the principle of interconnectedness back at you. But reflection alone is not enough. Awareness must transform into action. The universe doesn't act for us, but it does provide feedback. Every cause has effect, every decision has consequence. The laws of physics, like the laws of life, are impartial, but they are precise. Your actions, aligned with understanding and intention, resonate like the perfect chord within the cosmic symphony. History is filled with examples of this principle in action. When humanity first harnessed fire, we transformed the trajectory of our species. When the first humans looked at the stars and mapped them, we expanded not just knowledge, but imagination itself. When the first explorers set sail into the unknown, we learned the value of curiosity guided by courage. Each of these actions was born of awareness, reflection, and a conscious decision to participate in something larger than the self. And that is why noticing 444 is not trivial. It is a reminder that you, too, are capable of such participation. That your life is not just a series of random events, but a sequence of choices and alignments. That your capacity to notice, reflect, and act is what allows you to contribute to the harmony of life on Earth and perhaps even the greater universe. Yet, with this recognition comes humility. We are finite beings navigating a reality far beyond our comprehension. We are like observers, watching the surface of a vast ocean, sensing currents, feeling tides, but unable to grasp its full depth. And still, within this limited perspective, our choices matter. Our actions matter. Our awareness matters. 444 is the whisper of that truth. It reminds us that life is not just about consumption, distraction, or accumulation. It is about awareness, participation, and responsibility. It is about looking up at the night sky, realizing that you are made of the same stuff as the stars, and understanding that your actions, like the stars themselves, radiate influence far beyond your immediate perception. We are living in an age of unparalleled capability. Technology allows us to communicate across continents, to share knowledge instantaneously, to collaborate in ways unimaginable just a century ago. And yet, with this capability comes a paradox. Our attention is fragmented, our empathy tested, and our sense of purpose often diluted. 444 is a reminder that purpose is not found in the rush of information or the distraction of novelty. Purpose is cultivated through awareness, reflection, and intentional action. Ask yourself this: what small act today could create resonance beyond what you can see? What decision could influence not just your life, but the lives of others, and through them, the trajectory of communities, nations, or even the planet? Science tells us that small perturbations can have enormous consequences. Philosophy tells us that ethical action amplifies meaning. And your awareness, the recognition of 444, is a signal that you are being offered the opportunity to make such an impact. So, what is the practical lesson here? Pause, reflect. Observe the patterns in your life, your relationships, and your community. Seek alignment with principles that are enduring. Integrity, empathy, curiosity, courage. Notice the synchronicities, the coincidences, and the repeating signals like 444, and then act. Act with conscious intention, understanding the weight and reach of your choices. Because in the end, awareness without action is incomplete. Knowledge without engagement is wasted potential, and understanding without application is an opportunity lost. The universe does not dictate your path, but it does provide the information, the structure, and the subtle nudges that allow you to participate effectively if you choose to do so. And so, as you continue to encounter 444, remember this: you are stardust contemplating itself. You are a participant in a cosmic dance, capable of influence, capable of understanding, capable of choice. The universe has given you the tools, consciousness, reason, empathy, and creativity. And it is now your responsibility to use them wisely. Notice, reflect, act, align, resonate, participate. And in doing so, you honor not only the message of 444, but the very universe that made your awareness possible. Because, my friends, here is the final truth. We are fleeting, fragile, and finite. Yet within that fleeting moment, we hold the power to make meaning, to create harmony, to resonate with the cosmos, to act responsibly, ethically, and consciously. And that is not just a philosophical idea, it is a scientific, existential, and moral imperative. So, the next time you see 444, do not dismiss it. Do not chalk it up to coincidence. Pause, breathe, observe, and reflect, and then act. Because in that act lies your contribution to the ongoing, magnificent, and ever-unfolding story of the universe. And in that story, no one, not even the stars themselves, matters more than your conscious, deliberate, and meaningful participation. And yet, even as we reflect on the cosmic scale, we must return our gaze to the human scale, because all the stars, galaxies, and nebulae in the universe, as magnificent as they are, only gain meaning when we connect them to our experience here on Earth. It is in the mundane, the daily moments, where the universe speaks most intimately. 444 might appear on a clock, a receipt, a license plate, but the meaning isn't in the numbers themselves. The meaning is in your pause, in your attention, in your awareness. The universe is asking, are you awake? Are you participating? Are you noticing the threads of cause and effect that bind you to everything else? Consider the life of Carl Sagan. He often reminded us that we are made of star stuff, that the carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, the very elements that make up your body, were forged in the heart of exploding stars. There is nothing mystical in this statement. It is pure science. And yet, it carries with it a profound philosophical weight. To be alive is to be connected to the cosmos. To act is to respect the same forces that shaped galaxies and planets. The message is simple but staggering in implication. Your life, your consciousness, your choices are intrinsically tied to the universe. And when you encounter 444, it is a subtle reflection of this principle, a reminder that your alignment, your presence, your engagement matters on a scale far beyond what we typically measure. And let's be honest, this can feel overwhelming. To realize that your life is simultaneously insignificant and monumental is a paradox that our minds struggle to comprehend. But here's the beauty. It does not paralyze you. It empowers you. Because the universe does not demand perfection, it demands participation. The laws of physics do not care whether you succeed or fail in a moral sense, but they do demonstrate that every action has consequence. Every nudge, every choice, every decision you make radiates outward. The ripples of your actions spread beyond what your senses can detect. The choices you make, simple, conscious, deliberate, become part of a cosmic chain reaction that affects the trajectory of countless lives. Now, let us tie this to our everyday existence. In an era of digital distraction, infinite scrolling, and instantaneous communication, we have become adept at observing without perceiving. We notice numbers, patterns, coincidences, yet fail to extract meaning from them. 444 is a reminder to break this cycle, to see without reflexively scrolling past, to recognize without dismissing, and to act without hesitation. Awareness is only half the equation. Intentional action completes the circle. And action does not require grand gestures. It requires curiosity. It requires empathy. It requires courage. It requires acknowledging that even the smallest act, a kind word, a responsible decision, a conscious choice to help someone or protect the planet, carries weight. The universe, impartial and vast, provides feedback. Our actions shape our environment, our communities, and ultimately ourselves. In this sense, the wisdom of 444 is scientific as well as philosophical. Notice patterns, understand your role, act deliberately. Let me illustrate with a cosmic analogy. Imagine the universe as a vast orchestra. Each star is an instrument, each planet a note. Your life is a melody unique yet intertwined with the symphony of everything else. If you play your notes with intention and awareness, the music harmonizes. If you act with indifference or ignorance, the melody dissonates. 444 is your cue, a metronome reminding you to play in rhythm with the universe, to resonate in harmony with the larger composition, to align your actions with the structure and beauty that is already present. Now, let us step back further. Look at humanity's history through the lens of alignment. Civilizations rise and fall based on whether their collective actions resonate with reality. When we ignore the patterns, the laws of nature, the flow of resources, the consequences of our choices, we create chaos, suffering, and collapse. When we act in awareness, when we observe, reflect, and align, innovation, prosperity, and social cohesion emerge. This is not moralizing. It is observational truth, grounded in science, history, and philosophy. 444 serves as a personal checkpoint along this continuum. It asks you, are you acting in a way that aligns with reality, with others, with the universe? And let's not shy away from humility. To live consciously is to admit that we do not have all the answers, that our understanding is incomplete, that the universe is far grander than we can grasp. Yet, humility does not lead to inaction, it leads to inquiry. It leads to curiosity. It leads to the pursuit of knowledge and understanding, both outward into the cosmos and inward into ourselves. When we combine curiosity with empathy, awareness with reflection, and knowledge with action, we approach the essence of meaningful existence. 444, in this sense, is not magical, it is an invitation to notice, to align, to participate, and to contribute. It reminds us that even in a universe indifferent to our desires, there is a structure, a rhythm, a harmony that can guide us. It reminds us that consciousness is not a trivial accident, it is a tool, a lens, a responsibility. It reminds us that life is both fleeting and consequential, fragile and magnificent. So, as you move through the tapestry of existence, I urge you to see 444 not as a trivial curiosity, but as a call to action. Pause, reflect, observe the patterns, consider your choices, and then act. Not with fear, not with arrogance, but with curiosity, courage, and compassion, because the universe does not wait, and neither does life. The ripples you create today, the harmony you contribute tomorrow, the awareness you cultivate this moment, all of it matters. And in doing so, you honor the deepest truth of existence, that we are not separate from the universe, but expressions of it, that our lives are not isolated, but connected in ways subtle, profound, and beautiful, that our actions, our awareness, and our choices resonate far beyond what we can see or measure. So, the next time 444 appears in your life, let it serve as a reminder. You are awake, you are capable, you are connected, and you are responsible. The universe has provided the information, has provided the patterns, has provided the opportunity. What remains is your participation. Notice, reflect, act. Observe, align, resonate. And in doing so, contribute to the ongoing, magnificent, and ever-unfolding story of the cosmos, a story in which you are not merely a spectator, but a conscious, deliberate, and meaningful participant. And yet, for all its grandeur, the cosmos does not care for our egos. The stars will shine, the planets will orbit, and black holes will devour light with the same impartiality, whether we notice or not. But here is the paradox. Even though the universe is indifferent, our consciousness is not. Within us exists a capacity to observe, to reflect, and to act. This capacity is rare, precious, and profoundly consequential. And this is where 444 enters not as a number, but as a mirror held up by the universe, showing you that your awareness, your choices, and your presence are threads woven into the fabric of existence itself. Imagine, for a moment, that each time you see 444, you are standing at the helm of a vast, invisible network of influence. Like a ripple across a pond, your decisions, how you treat others, how you steward your resources, how you use your time propagate outward, interacting with countless other ripples. Sometimes you will never see the impact of these actions. Sometimes the results will take decades or centuries to manifest. But the universe is patient. It responds not to our immediacy, but to our alignment with the principles of cause and effect, with harmony, and with responsibility. This is why the message of 444 is so resonant. It does not offer a shortcut to happiness. It does not promise success. It does not guarantee understanding. What it offers, instead, is a call to consciousness, to awaken to the reality that you are part of something far greater than yourself, a reality in which your choices, your presence, and your awareness matter. You are simultaneously microscopic and monumental, fleeting and eternal, fragile and resilient. And in this delicate tension lies the power to shape not just your life, but the collective future. Let's take this principle down to earth. In our daily lives, we are confronted with choices that, while seemingly insignificant, ripple outward in unexpected ways. The choice to speak with kindness, to act with integrity, to care for the environment, or to engage with curiosity rather than prejudice, these are the moments where alignment with the universe becomes tangible. 444 appears as a subtle nudge, reminding you that these decisions matter, that participation matters, that conscious engagement, no matter how small, is the essence of meaningful existence. And here lies the profound lesson. The universe provides context, but not content. It presents the patterns, the laws, the cycles, the constants, the signs, but it does not dictate your path. It is not a map, but a framework. It is not a script, but an invitation. And 444 is the gentle tapping on the shoulder saying, notice the structure, engage with it, respect it, and in doing so, act. And the poet in me wants to say it is mystical. The scientist in me insists it is logical. And the human in me knows that the truest understanding lies at the intersection of observation, reflection, and action. When you encounter 444, you are being asked to pause, to look around, to assess your alignment with the principles of life, the universe, and the human story. To consider the consequences of your choices and to act with awareness, courage, and compassion. And in this lies the ultimate empowerment, to realize that the universe is vast, indifferent, and awe-inspiring. And yet, within that vastness, your consciousness is a force capable of influencing not just your immediate environment, but the ongoing story of existence itself. This is not hyperbole. It is the logical conclusion of observing patterns, recognizing interconnections, and embracing the responsibilities that come with awareness. So, let 444 be more than a number. Let it be a teacher. Let it be a reminder that your life is significant, not because of grandeur or notoriety, but because of your capacity to observe, to reflect, and to act. Let it be a call to stewardship, not only of your own existence, but of the interconnected web of life in which you reside. And let it be a symbol of your responsibility to participate consciously, to choose wisely, and to contribute meaningfully. In closing, Consider this. The universe is unimaginably vast, and yet it communicates through the subtle, the ordinary, the moments you might otherwise overlook. Each encounter with 444 is a chance to reconnect with this reality. Each moment of awareness is a chance to align with the forces that have shaped galaxies, stars, and planets across billions of years. And each deliberate action is a way to participate in the cosmic story with integrity, consciousness, and care. So, when you next see 444, do not dismiss it as coincidence. Do not rush past it in distraction. Pause, breathe, observe, reflect, align, act. You are part of the universe. The universe is part of you. And together, your awareness and choices can ripple through the cosmos in ways both seen and unseen. Notice, reflect, act, observe, align, resonate. And in doing so, contribute to the ongoing, magnificent, and ever-unfolding story of the universe, a story in which you are not merely a spectator, but a conscious, deliberate, and essential participant. Because this is the truth, 444 seeks to reveal that your life matters, not in isolation, not in grandeur, but in connection. That your awareness is powerful, your choices meaningful, and your participation indispensable. That the universe is vast, indifferent, and eternal. Yet within its indifference, it has given you the capacity to act consciously, and that capacity is nothing short of miraculous. Embrace it, trust it, live it. So, the next time you see 444, don't just glance at it, don't just scroll past it, pause, reflect, consider that somewhere between the spinning galaxies and the quantum vibrations of the particles inside you, there is a message, quiet, persistent, and patient. A message that says, you are here, you are part of this, and your awareness matters. Because here's the thing about the universe, it doesn't need you to notice it. The stars will burn, black holes will collapse, galaxies will collide, and yet you exist, conscious, capable of observation, capable of thought, capable of action. That is not trivial, that is extraordinary, and it is the universe's way of giving meaning back to itself through you. So when 444 appears, think of it as the cosmos tapping you on the shoulder. Not to tell you what to do, not to give you the answers, but to remind you, you are connected, you are responsible, you can choose. And in that choice, in that awareness, you participate in the grandest story of all the story of existence itself. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough to inspire you to look up more often, to think bigger, and to live with a little more wonder, curiosity, and courage. Because the universe doesn't wait. But you, my friend, you get to show up. And that is everything.